All right. Hold on a sec. Okay, I'm gonna do the thing. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. I just need to cough real quick. Should have coughed first. All right. You know what? We're also gonna do the CM Colsman Classic Sip because whoa. So, alrighty. Welcome to yet another Candy Eggs stream. My name is Candy Eggs. That is my legal name. Now, today we are going to be working on something very special. Now, that something is fish. I should have practiced this more beforehand, but you know what? I just wanted to start the stream. So we're gonna be hanging out today. You and me, personally, on a personal level, we are going to be together this evening, whether you're watching now, whether you're catching up, whether you are watching this after the fact. We are going to have a pleasant time. As many of you may know, I have been working on this next Aliens project since, well, technically, since before the last one posted. So that's a good couple months. We are finally nearing the end of the point where I am, like, making creatures. This is the last one. I have been making so many things. There's like 30 something entries. I don't know. It's a lot. But part of the joke, or part of the bit rather, is that there will be fish. It is the Piscean Age, and I've been really cheeky over what is and is not a fish in this new episode. And this creature is going to be the fish. So let me get my little props and properties open. Oh, yay, there's already people. Disco Boy blends, yay, a stream. Piska is back. Hello. Alright, let me do the smiling friends. Hello, daddies, hello, daddies, hello, daddies. Oh my gosh, I am so stupid. Okay, I need to, oh my god. Here we are. We're going, we're gonna get this. We're gonna get this. I need to make this so that I can see the chat. I can see the chat now. So here is the big, let me first sit less gay so that I can actually do shit. I do this with my keyboard on my lap because I am a dissolute little monster. The reason that today is going to be so exciting, I will let everyone see because we are going to hit save as. Hold on, let me, ooh, spoiler. Let me get this up. Let me make a new folder because this new folder is going to be called Apex Fish. This is why today is going to be exciting. We are going to be working on apexfish.blender. Fish, gosh. Apexfish.blender, my friends. Is mayonnaise a fish instrument? So there's fish in this stream. There is going to be a fish in this stream. First of all, we have to commit death upon the cube. Die. Okay. I have my sketch right here to my left. I think I want it to be posed instead of posing it after the fact, because posing the after the fact is a lot of work and it's obnoxious, so I think I'm just gonna have this one posed in the sculpture. So this is gonna be a pretty big sculpture. We're gonna add some meta balls. Fucking love. Shouldn't have used to swear so early. Fudging love meta balls. There we go. I should probably be practicing my femme voice, but I am kind of tired today, so we will see if we get to doing that later. Let's scale our orb, our initial orb, and now, oops, let's, frick, there. Let's remember how to use Blender and move it up, because I like the things to be above the floor. Now we have our floating orb. Bwomp, there we go. Now, we're gonna start approximating a fish. This is everyone's favorite thing to do. I know. We love approximating. I guess, and before I finish this, let me figure out how to increase the resolution on this. It's on the data, then the resolution. It was probably already on the data already, but we are coping. Alright, yep, that's as small as it goes. That is okay. So this is an apex pelagic predator. So this is something that I really haven't shown anything like yet. Actually, I'm gonna duplicate this first before adding that angle. Checking my concept art. Yep, that seems correct. It is truly fish time. Yeah, that's nice. I think I want the front to be a bit wider. Yes, we got that very fusiform front. Now the back I'm going to make taller. A little bit thinner. Yeah, maybe a little longer. Maybe a little higher up. Yeah, I like that. I like that. This is the front, by the way. This little frontity bit. We are all so excited. So, let me start grabbing pieces for the tail. That's right, this fish has a tail. Long. Not that long, actually. No, I want to create a bend. Let's get that width up nice and wide so that we can sort of slot it into the body. Very nice. Commercial jump scare. Oh no. I apologize for that. I have them set. I have that little ad set to kind of rarely materialize, so hopefully they aren't too inconvenient for us today. I'm gonna start the curve immediately, I think. Kind of want this nice, like, shark-like pose. So let's lengthen that. Turn it more. Grab it. Oh yes. Let's add another one. Wow. Looks like a tadpole. I learned a lot about how fish fins work for this. Sausage jump scare. Accurate. So... awesome. Should make that thinner. Not yet. I should actually make it taller. And this one I will make a little taller as well. Yeah, a lot of what we're gonna get is gonna come from the sculpting itself. So this is really just like a very vague approximation, like I had said before. We are going to get a very fish-shaped thing eventually. Just not quite yet. There's the arc I'm looking for. Yeah, it's looking like a big old tadpole so far. So how are we all doing today, friends? I have been doing pretty poorly lately, so that's fun. I hope everybody's doing better than I have been doing. Yeah, I want this like big sweeping curve in the tail. That'll look really nice. Yeah, I like that. Might end up widening this part after the fact. We will have to see. Shrink that, make it less long. Actually rotate it a little bit less. We can also make this slightly taller. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna go back and make these taller. Word for thing that I am doing after the fact. Making these taller after I should have already. How are we looking? Because this is a big thing, right? Like it's kind of shark shaped, kind of barracuda shaped. It is partly a cruiser and partly an acceleration based predator. So it kind of has a fusion of shark like and barracuda like traits. Ryan says it was more about the volume shift as AI commercials are required by law to be 2 times louder. Oh my goodness. Oh, all commercials. I see. Yeah, commercials are just freaking loud. In fact, let me just make my shit louder. Let me just make it louder for everybody. Now the important thing is I need to remember to turn this back down so that my silly recordings for the game I like to play, Path of Titans, isn't cursed and terrible. My Moira Lux has put together a Discord for Path of Titans recently, and I've been having some good times with new buddies. It has been pretty fun overall. I actually just yesterday had a very awful day because I spent $200 on getting FL Studio, which is a music program, and this was for multiple reasons. I have a lot of art projects. This is only one of them, but the previous Exobiology episode got copyright claimed, so I have earned nothing from that video that took me a million years to make, because there's what's it called? There's music in that video, which is copyright free, which YouTube does not consider to be copyright free because a company bought the rights to that company. Now, that is not how copyright law works, but that is how it is pretending that it works. So that is lame, in a word. It is massively inconvenienced me because I just don't have the files for that video anymore. It's gone now, right? I can't remove the music from it, and the music was like tied into the pacing as well. So I'm gonna have to make this new video without any music. So I was like, I'm gonna get FL Studio, which is a music editing thing, and I wanted to make my own background music for this project and for my comic dub and for all the silly little things I do, like my Homestuck fan fiction functionally, which, by the way, I might force everyone to take a look at that for a moment because, boy howdy, is that stupid. But I spent like all day yesterday, and for like the last month, I had been researching music theory and stuff, which music has never been intuitive to me, and it should have been a sign. But I I tried just my hardest. I tried my damnedest. I tried my best. And I just cannot understand how music works. It just sounds terrible. So I spent $200, which is a hell of a lot of money for me. And it was just like a huge waste of effort, I feel like, because it was just so bad. I don't think I could make anything that wouldn't just be incredibly terrible and annoying for these art projects. So I just don't know what to do. That was like a week wasted functionally for multiple different of my projects. I don't work on this alien project every day, but I work on it a lot. Goes silent to get the angle on the fin. I might go for like an S shape instead. I think that might be, unless we do it like turning, which we could get like a really dynamic like turning angle from below. I'm not sure. I want the front to still be centered in the middle because there's some symmetrical parts in the front. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Oh, I should probably read some stuff. Alpha Zeno Pete has been doing fine. Watching me cook with the comics. Thank you very much. Ombra Trek 132. What a coinky dank. You were just about to rewatch the first 3 episodes. Awesome. awesome. That is fantastic. I'm glad that people still watch the first one. It's like kind of bad. My voice is starting to go. I think I'm sick again. Um, I'm glad people still rewatch it, even though like I don't even rewatch it anymore. I kind of just go to my own pinned comment, which is like when I say photosynthesis weird, and I was too lazy to redub it. I just listen to myself go photosynthesis. Uh, well, let me select multiple. Let me select multiple. Wait, do I have to hold shift? Yes, it is shift that I'm supposed to hold. That is not what I... Unclick that one. Unclick that one. There. There we go. Unclick this one. No. Frick. Unclick. Frickin' there. Okay. We have done it. Except it is, rotated this part now. Alright. I like that. Now we will unselect that one. Now we can rotate this way. Oh, now this. Ooh. Oh, yes. This is a, what's it called? No, this isn't angliform. Angliform swimming is like an eel. This is, what's it called? Subcarangiform. I think that's it. Where like the whole face still wiggles side to side. Fish are funny. Fish are funny. That's the Kandy eggs observation for today. Beep. I, unfortunately, although fortunately, I guess, for this art project, that's nice. That's nice. I like that. I like that. I guess fortunately for this project, I only have one day of work this week. Oh, Lord. I have, like, no monies. I have, like, no monies. I'm just hoping that I can manage to do art or something for a job. I'm just hoping. Got my little fingies crossed. But I gotta lock in for that, and we're locking in today. We are going to get so much progress on this. I have gone a couple days where I finished a 3D model, like, painted and everything in one day, and we're gonna see if we can get that today. CMBXP, which I will always say your username like that. You've been pretty good. That's awesome to hear. Started a channel recording 100% videos. Oh, 100%ing video games. Ooh. Okay. I might have to sit down for that. I might have to take a look. Granted, the video games I play are so fucking weird. I play like Path of Titans and Minecraft and Pokemon. And like sometimes I replay Fossil Fighters, and those are all the games that I play. Oh Lord. Ryan Cossack says, I was trying to learn music software a little back. Hard to manage that actually forming melodies and beats. Yeah, I don't understand it. And that's what's like so frustrating to me is like 3D shit and drawing and everything and even writing has just come to me naturally that it makes me really angry that I just can't make stuff be good. Snailfish, oh my god, it is a snailfish. Apex Predator, big snailfish. Big snailfish. Alphazito Pete also says Path of Titans is goated. Usually play on semi-realism servers. Real. I wanted to get into semi-realism, but like, Lux and I were looking, and all we found was like realism servers that pretended they were semi-realism. They just have a bunch of like really dumb rules that make me angry, especially for the herbivores. It's just, I don't know. I guess people just don't know how real animals work, which I guess it's to make it like the game and make it fun and stuff. But I don't know. We've just been playing on the regular servers, whatever they're called, official servers, and suffering. Which it's almost more fun because you're never actually safe on the officials, right? CMBXP is currently 100%ing a game called SCP Fragmented Minds. I've heard of that. Oh, I've heard of that. Does it have the peanut? Does it have the peanut? And is it... Well, wait, no, it doesn't look like a peanut anymore. It's like long now. I don't know. I completely understand why there's a new design for the Peanut SCP. But at the same time, I feel like it being just that really incredibly large concrete structure that's like a giant solid thing was part of what made it scary because it's like so heavy looking, right? The new one is much more thin, which I guess is kind of scary, and the rebar makes more important notes in its design. But I don't know. I feel like it should have been like really big and chunky still. So it just looks like if it fell over, it would kill people under it. Alpha says, I play on natural history, primordial tyrant, semi-realism, and crimson semi-realism. I don't remember if we looked into either of those. Primordial tyrants, crimson. Okay, I'm gonna try and remember those for later. We've been having a pretty good time in our little terrible little Discord thing. We normally play Waptas. We were playing Latins, but they recently finally made Dean less terrible. So I went back to playing Dean Inigus because Dean Inigus, for those unaccustomed, is one of my favorite dinosaurs. I just like the way that it is. Okay, we gotta lock in. We've got to lock in. This body bit, not that part, this part. This needs to, like, widen. Yeah, we gotta make sure that our fish looks really muscular. Yes, it has to, like... I think that's too wide. Yeah. There. Because this is... Okay, well, I guess I should talk about the alien thing. Part of what makes this be a fish is that it actually can stay afloat. Now, this is something that I've teased a bit with the other creatures that look like fish, but, like, unlike things like rays, which are just, like, they levitate, basically, because they're shaped like planes, and sharks, and they're also shaped like planes, and they have, like, these really fatty livers that let them help them float. Um, those other groups, I can't really draw it. I don't know. They look like a... Oh, no, they look like arrow worms. The things that look like arrow worms, those can't float. Like, they just immediately sink back down, so I didn't really count them as fish. This, however, does float. It floats in a very strange way, and that its gills just collect carbon dioxide in a pocket. And the only way for it to get rid of that is to, like, toot it out of the back of its gills. Now, what that means is that they can dive really suddenly, really fast, but if they do that, they have to wait for their gas thing to fill back up so that they float again. So they're kind of risking dying to water pressure, because Lapis has really highly pressurized water because its atmosphere is so pressured. It is big. And I think that's neat. So these technically almost have a swim bladder, but it's much more similar to something like a the lungs of vertebrates, where they can just, like, expel the gas. So that's fun. So this creature does not actually need to sit on the ground, but it comes from an ancestor which did need to sit on the ground. So it's got some really fun anatomy that we are going to get to once we finish, like, the tail part. And I hope we are all excited. Oh, let me... No! My shit! Make it wider. There. Latin is lovely indeed. I like the Wetten of the Twix in Path of Titan. There's only one SCP with 3 variants in Chapter 1, SCP-3199, which are human. Oh my god, it's that one. The chicken humans. That's funny. That's funny. SCP Fragmented Minds is lovely. Been following its development since 2022. Awesome. That always feels so cool to just follow the development of games like that. Ugh. I did it with Saurian. It was a bad idea. Granted, I didn't have money then, so I didn't do anything but buy the game for Saurian. But There's a game called Paleo Pines, which I really like the art style of, and I've been following their development since before they ventured into 3D, which is weird because I was never interested in the game. I was just sitting there like I wow, the art is so cute, and then that's the end of it. I just yeah. I still follow them on Instagram or whatever. It's like, wow, yay, I like the picture, but I'm never gonna buy this game. I'm sorry. I just like the way it's drawn. Frederico says, finally, the fissioning. God, I sound really sick. Hold on. We're gonna make a bunch of trans girl noises real quick. E. That's right, we say E. Yeah, I'm gonna be really annoying for a minute. Okay, so... Alpha, what do you think the mystery SCP will be? I think it's the... Actually, no, what's an iconic answer? You can't just say the Plague Doctor, because that's basic, right? That's basic. It can't be the Plague Doctor. What if it's the corn one? That'd be funny. Actually, no, the IKEA would be really cool, but I don't even know if they could make a game where there's just IKEA logos everywhere. Like an IKEA level, that would just be cool. Ryan, you heard Sorian might be coming back. Really? Hi, that would be awesome if true. I would love to see that because they just kind of said they'd add Pachycephalosaurus and then never added Pachycephalosaurus. You know what? I'm going to grab one that's actually facing the correct direction so I can stop scuffing with the angles. So I'm going to take the original, duplicate, smallify. Shoop. Wait, no, we need this to be wide because this is the peduncle or whatever it's called on the fluke. I don't know what it's called. I'm going to explain in a moment. Don't you worry, chaps and cherubs. There we go. So the part that we are on to now is something that you don't really notice until it's pointed out. On cruising and like accelerating swimmers, you see that their tail sort of just like changes direction. You see this in whales and you see this in fish as well. You see this in all sorts of things. Like the part where the tail needs to swish through, right? So in the opposite direction that the fluke is, which the fluke is vertical in this drawing, or in this render, whatever it is, you see that this part, the base of the tail end, is flat. And that's so that this part can cut through the water, but still have muscle. Like all the muscle is right here and right here. There's like nothing on the top or the bottom. And that's how it cuts through the water so that only the fluke is really pushing the water. And it's just something interesting that is like missing in a lot of alien art especially. And it shouldn't be. Another one. Awesome. There'll be 3 SCPs in Chapter 2, 058149, and there's one that's unknown for now. Okay. That's hype. Alright, so it's fluke time. So let's beep. Beep. That was too big. Oh no. Okay, so I'm gonna not deal with that one. I'm gonna make a new one. This is part of the reason metaballs are so much easier to use when metaballs are easier to use when what was I about to say? Oh my god, I am such a dumbass. Okay, we are gonna not question that. Duplicate, rotate, and then grab that down. Oops, not that way. Let's grab it with this. Oh, oh yes. Now let's rotate them up more so we get more of a vertical tail, which is what I wanted. Now we've grabbed both and we can move it into place. Move it up. Let's widen these as well. Yeah, I can flatten those later. I'm gonna make that really nice and big. Now we're gonna move it to the edge. Now this is a very this is a very large fin, but the way that I'm gonna sculpt it is I'm gonna sculpt it down. So it's not gonna be this big when it's done. Wow. And the keen-eyed viewers may notice I am making this one slightly less tall than the bottom. Ooh, what does that mean, you may ask? What does that mean? Sharks have a higher one on the top, right? Sharks have a higher fin on the top. Mosasaurs have a higher one on the bottom. Ooh! Basically, this means that when the creature accelerates, like, as fast as it can, it goes up. Whereas sharks, when sharks swim faster, they go down because the fluke on the top is higher. And that is because sharks are shaped like little airplanes. They're shaped like airplanes so that they can use less energy when cruising. Because their wings, their fins form a wing, and it's an airfoil. When they swim forwards, they are pushed up by the water. So the faster they swim forward, the more up they end up going. So their tail counteracts that by making them go down. So it balances out. So when sharks swim at a faster speed, they still go forward. And in things like mosasaurs and ichthyosaurs, the bottom part of the fluke is larger. And that is because they... if they're in a rush, they really want to go toward the surface because they breathe air, right? So if you are a mosasaur or something, you are really, really, really going to need to go up when you're going that fast if you start drowning. So their bottom fin is bigger because it makes them go up. This one has the fin on the bottom just because they don't float like ray fin fishes do. They don't really have a very good method of obtaining neutral buoyancy. They have a really terrible method of obtaining neutral buoyancy. So in the case that they used their gas to eject the gas to make them go down quickly, they need this fin to be like this so that when they are swimming without their gas bubble, they don't sink. That is my long-winded explanation for this, like, barely existent thing. Oh yes, Federico, you have acknowledged something very important. This is not a finworm. However, with finworms, I am still going to use that logic where it's like this thing needs to go down, this thing needs to go up. Because when you have the fin going the other way, when it's horizontal, you still have that same thing where one side of it is bigger to make it prefer going up or prefer going down. And you may be wondering, how? So in whales, if you notice a whale, we're going to pretend this is sideways. If this right part is the top where the body is, if this is the top and this is the bottom, in whales you see that their fluke points down. Like these two edges point down. And that is so that they gain more thrust from pushing their tail down than pushing their tail up. And that makes it so that the whales, when they need to go fast, they go up. So if you had a creature shaped like the finworms and they were floaty like ray fin fishes and stuff, they might have their tails point up at the edge because then they would go down when going fast. And that's pretty cool. I hope I'm not just absurdly loud in everyone's ears, by the way. M. Young says, draw Jacques cleaning Blue Star. What? Blue Star is from Warrior Cats. Jacques is a cleaner shrimp from... Oh! Every time I hear the name Jacques or see it written down, I just imagine the Animal Crossing character, which, like, let's just... A real quick tangent. One of the best Animal Crossing New Horizons, Jacques. This is one of the best characters, okay? Anyone who disagrees with my boy will get a flaming spire in response. Look at him. He's beautiful. He's just a chill guy. He's so chill. I think he's a crow. He kind of looks like he could be a red-winged blackbird, right? Or do those not have a brown? Let me see. Red-winged blackbird. No, they're solid black. Anyways, I like Jacques. Jacques Animal Crossing. Hey, look, it's the video we're watching right now. Fish wow! I was gonna use the same thumbnail, but I decided not to. So I made that. Fish wow. Alright, the audio is fine. That is fantastic. M. Young, I am not drawing stuff right now. For right now, I'm just working on my 3D model. Because this is what I'm supposed to be locking in for today. If my computer crashes the 3D model or something bad happens, or if I get like really frustrated at it, which may happen, I might go over to a sketching page. We could definitely do that. A sketching stream would be fun, probably. Just draw stuff. That could be fun. CMBXP. Does this mean mosasaurs originated on Lapis rather than Earth? You knew it. Yeah, so did snakes. Snakes also came from Lapis. Arthur, do these creatures have organs/tissues that are very different in comparison to Earth analogs? Yes and no. Actually, I'm gonna let everyone do a little vote. Click or type 1 if you would like to see spoilers for this. Click 0 if you would not like to see spoilers for the organs and tissues. Because I have a diagram. So once again, 1 for seeing the spoilers, 0 for not seeing the spoilers. Discord icon jump scare. Oh my god. Where was the Discord icon? Wait, it's a joke. I'm stupid. Snyad animals have a brain made of 2 parts at first and a bundle of... Oh, that's interesting. Oh, I've never actually read Snyad. I've been waiting for the new version of the book. The second part, which is massive glands that communicate with each other by creating various signals. That's cool. Well, it looks like we want to see some spoilers. Okay. Okay, let me find... Where's my shit? Here it is. It's in this one. No, it's not. Wait, no, it is. Alright, so we are about to see some spoilers. I am not going to show the anatomy for either of these things. We are only going to be looking at the relevant fish. Wins more spore but realistic lives. At some point, Diego, at some point, I like spore. So, we are going to be taking a look. My voice is exploding. We are going to be taking a look at our zipper eye. Okay? Now they're called zipper eyes because that sounds funny. It sounds like what a fish would be called. But also, this is the real group of fish on Lapis. We're all getting a sneaky look. Fuck. We're all getting a sneaky look. We're all getting a sneaky look on what the fish on Lapis look like, okay? These may or may not be in order. Okay, don't look at it yet. Don't look at it. We have... Okay, here is a zipper eye. Let me... Hold on. Frick. Meow. I need to see the chat. Give me the chat. Okay, here is the zipper eye. We are not going to be seeing the official art of this thing, but a thing that looks vaguely like this is what the fish we are making right now will be. Okay. So, I don't know if I want to spoil what this is. You know what? Fuck it. This is the spoiler stream, motherfuckers. This is the spoiler stream. So I'm gonna give you all this graphic. Now we are going to acknowledge this graphic's existence. Okay. We are looking at this graphic. We have what muscles would look like on a bilaterally symmetric thing. Okay. Now we are looking at the anatomy of muscles in a glide reflection anatomy. See how in the bilateral reflection, it's like segments, right? Like that, you would expect things to look like this. This is what we look like inside. This is what arthropods look like on the outside, etc. Then we have the glide reflection. Now, just because there are no glide reflected organisms that are like complex on Earth today, other than like plants, which are kind of randomly structured, you can still have very structured organisms through glide reflection. So where in this one we see like equal piece, equal piece, equal piece, equal piece, this one is sort of this piece, 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 this piece. Now something very key about this is you can very easily do a fish-type locomotion, the swishy side to side, with either of these. So the zipper eye is a glide reflection type creature. And you guys have seen nothing of this entire group until just now. Because this is freaking... Hold on, let me... Oh no, what's it called? Oh no, what's it called? Hold on, wait. I know what my own things are called. You know what? We are just going to... No, that's not what I wanted. What is my cladogram? Did I just name it cladogram? Okay, well... wheel? Did I name it wheel? No, I didn't. Okay, you know what? We are just gonna not acknowledge that there's, like, minor spoilers on this page. We are just not... You're not looking at it. You're not looking at this. Supplementary art. No, it's from... It's from the last episode. Duh. Okay, we're almost there. Ah! Where is the picture? Where is it? Where did I... It's just in here. I just didn't organize it. Zipper eyes are related to one of these. I won't tell you which, but one of these creates a fish in this following episode. You guys thought I just forgot about these. No, I did not forget about these. Also, these red dots mean nothing. That was for when I was in the middle of writing the last episode, and I needed to keep track of which ones I already wrote entries for. But one of these things, Pectentacula, or Cruspelles, is one of those things. So anyways, let us take a look. Oh wait, Umbra says, hold up, is this a descendant of my favorite guys from episode 2? Oh shit, were you the one whose favorite little guys were those little things? That's awesome. Alderaan jump scare. Thank you very much. I have been trying so hard. There's like a strange, non-consistent art style for this project, so I'm glad people like it. Bro, the sea nut. Sea nut butter. That's just a joke from SpongeBob. SpongeBob eats sea nut butter. That's why I called them that. Anyways, we're going to look at the zipper eye anatomy. First of all, these eyes are also glide reflected. Like, there's an eye on one side, an eye on the other side, an eye on the first side, an eye on the other side, etc. I call it an eye chain. And then here's, like, a little labeling, right? This fin at the bottom is their foot that they use to crawl, but obviously this group swims now. We also have prehensile phallus. God, I hope somebody joins in seeing this right here. It has armor as well. The plates are also non-symmetrical. Kind of looks like a corn. Ryan says, you showed your college lab professor my previous videos. Note he studies mussels and herpetology. Ooh. I'm gonna be honest, I just like things, so hopefully there's nothing too bad about it. One person had a lot of complaints about the first episode because I don't know very much about space. I asked if they wanted to like put all of their notes into one comment so I could pin it, and they never got back on me. So I think they just got really mad at it and left like 17 paragraphs of different comments as they were watching it, and then blocked me. um. Anyways, it has little fins. It has little fins, right? It has a shell. It has like this bivalved shell, and that's cool. Now, when we look at the inside, you see something interesting. First of all, this tail has nothing in it but, like, the nerve thing and muscle. There's just nothing else. Just nothing else. So, unlike a lot of fishes, like sharks, if you bite near the end half of it, none of its organs are there. All of its organs are inside the shell, except its big old gonad. Which it has plenty of those to go around. What is there that's interesting? It has a spiny throat like a lot of arthropods do. Oh, actually, let's start with the nerves. So the nerves are odd. So it's got like a million cough. Pardon. This is the worst stream ever. It's got like a million eyes, right? So it has this big ol' thing right here that connects all the eyes together. And then it's got like a fake little brain that I call the ocular ganglion. And this area of its nervous system just like absorbs all of the visual information. Right? Like it sort of approximates the visual cortex we have, but it's not actually part of its brain. Its brain is down here, underneath its foot. So this part just like takes in all of this buttload of information and then sends it down this cord and just goes like, that's the information that's important. And that's pretty neat. Oh, and something I should also say, the shell is split in two. So this is one half of the eyes, and then they connect to the other half. And this like splits in a Y after the ocular ganglion. So like there's a branch. This would be a lot easier if I just showed you the 3D model for this one, but I'm not going to. And then the brain is the central part. You get like a piece of it going to the foot, a piece of it going to the tail, and then the rest goes, like this little tiny bit goes into the arm tentacle thing. So that's fun. It has a stomach, it has a little butty hole, and then its butt is right here on the top, and that's interesting. It's kind of like a lot of cephalopods, where they just have like the end of their siphon and then it just goes. Yeah, this is science. This is science talk. Welcome to Candy Eggs. This whole shell is here, and in between the eyes there's like this cleft like a clam, and there's its gills, and its gills are shaped in a Y as well. Like it's got this single central heart that pumps blood, but then it also has these little hearts along its gill that really forces blood through the gill and then back in. So it's sort of like boop, 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 and then pew, 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 pew. Like it's still like a not particularly advanced heart, so it's nowhere near as good as like a mammal's, let alone a fish, but it's pretty good. Like part of the one of the goals for this project was just showing like these are not optimally designed creatures, but that didn't stop Earth's own life. Like when nothing else was as advanced at breathing as like dinosaurs were, everything was just kind of shitty, but that was the best thing that there was. So although these have blood, they have these things, it's just not, it would immediately get out competed by like Earthfish. Because we aren't very far. Also, you see that there's a lot of names like liver and kidney and pancreas. These are the same sort of organs that Earth life has, but we use these words in unrelated animals which have like similar purposed structures, right? Yeah. That's basically the anatomy for this one, and then I've got like they layer on so that I can talk about them more efficiently. I probably should have done that while I was talking about it, but you know what? That's what we get. Yeah. Oh no, there's still so much to do. Actually, I am going to look at this vertically. I'm going to tilt this a little bit because I want this. Oh no, that was only one. Give me both. I'm going to tilt this. And let's tilt it a little more so that we really. Oops. So that we really emphasize the fact that this is a creature which does not swim particularly optimally. Let me unselect that one. Yeah, this is a creature that doesn't swim particularly optimally. Like, it's still like a very serpentine swim. But that's about as good as it's gonna get at the moment. The most effective swimmers use only a very small portion of their body to swim. You see this in animals like grebes and sea turtles and things like tuna, where they have this very tiny bit at the end that moves and nothing else moves. However, movements like this, where it uses a significant amount of its body, is a lot easier. You don't have to be as specialized. So you see a lot of animals, especially earlier fishes, look like this, even when they have niches that are taken by animals that look like tuna now. Alvazino Pete, can't wait to see how you'll I can read how you'll do lobe finned equivalents in these guys. Oh, Alphazino Pete, do you want to know a secret? I don't plan things too far ahead because I feel like having an idea of what things should look like kind of ruins the point of my project, where I want to design them as they evolve. So I get like these really organic looking strange things by doing it step by step, like, and then this happens and then this happens, etc. But something I have planned for this group, I wasn't sure which group I wanted to do it with, but I have decided it's gonna be this group. They are going to fly in episode 5. Or wait, we're on episode 4, right? Yeah, 4 hasn't come out. They're gonna fly in the episode after the next episode. Not like a bird, but more like flying fishes and flying squids and stuff. But they are also going to be some of the first things that can breathe air, and I have special plans for that we're not going to talk about. You will have no idea what they are going to look like, but still. Bink. Yippee. Okay, so ostraciform swimming cousins would be goofy as so I'm assuming that means ostracods, and that is really funny actually with the way that they're built. Oh, I'm gonna have to do that in the next episode. I don't have very many of these zipper eyes done yet. I've got like 5, I think, including this one. So it's gonna be really cool to just diversify them later on. It's gonna be so fun. I was so worried that I wouldn't have like a really good group to work with that looks alien, but I think that this is a good group. Do. Also, I don't want to be mean to them particularly, but also I kind of wanna. Were y'all reading that one guy who wanted me to draw what was like clearly some sort of fetish cartoon? I'm just gonna acknowledge that. I'm just gonna acknowledge that. That's some real Caliborn behavior. I'm gonna get a picture of Caliborn, everybody. I'm getting a picture of Caliborn. Homestuck refrance. That was this in real life. That was this in real life just then. Whoa. I love Caliborn. I love Homestuck. Look at him. This is the most fascinating villain I have seen in any work of media ever. He's absolutely just titillating to my brain. This realistic villain character. He's such a little shit. Anyways. So yeah, my BXPs. Yeah, I didn't want to say stuff, but that was weird, right? That was weird. And the best part is that even though I made it so they can't look at this anymore, like I was streaming the screen with the chat on the screen, so people can go back and see evidence of it, right? Ostraciform swimming. Ostraciform swimming actually refers to how pufferfish and boxfish swim. Oh, I love tetradonta, whatever the fuck they are. I love those fish. I do. One of the zipper eyes is basically a pufferfish, but it doesn't really look like a pufferfish. I'll just give that little hint. Ryan. Oh, also you showed another professor who studies fish and their reproduction. Oh, that's cool. Wait, I didn't see. I didn't see if you would continue talking about that. I don't remember seeing it. Pew 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 pew. This is noise. I'm not finding it. I'm probably just dummy brain. Oh, you just didn't continue it, which is also perfectly fine. What the frick else was I doing here? The fish. So I need to continue the fish. Not the whole thing. There. So I need this. As you guys saw, they had... Oops, that's not what I wanted. They have that, like, shell, right? And I need to include the edge of that shell. That's a pretty good approximation. I'm going to make this wider now. And then, like, this next segment, I think I'm also going to make it wider. Yeah, that's nice. It's very wiggly. Looks like a tadpole. This is like a distractingly large fin, but I know when I sculpt it, it's just gonna like just eat through this. The sculpting tools are just gonna eat through that shape immediately. Six-Four Crusader. I did say what the fish is descended from, and I just as a little reiteration, I'm gonna get the little picture back up. It is one of these two. I won't... It's so blurry. There we go. It is one of these two. I will not say which, but it is one of these two. Y'all thought I forgot about these two. No, that was a secret surprise tool for later, whatever Mickey Mouse Clubhouse says. Zooey Mama. And also we can look at this. You can also see like a lot of these still are labeled by their the names I called them before I actually gave them names, which is part of the reason I don't know what any of them are called. Like this one's just called Rhizome. What's another funny one? Oh, Mud Thread is technically what I called it. Giant Sand Nut. Lapis also was one of the only ones where like I had the name beforehand. Torpedo Nut. There's not very many drawings in this one. This next episode has a lot of drawings. There it is. And then we don't look at that. We don't look at that. Rip finworm supremacy. Don't worry. The finworms have a future unto their own. CMBX B. Do zipper eyes make the noise when you zip a zipper when... That's really funny. That's really funny. If they do end up making a noise, I will point out that it sounds like a zipper as a bit, probably. Like, you know how catfish make that weird little noise? Finworms get to be fake fish. Now, counterpoints. Finworms are not so much fake fish, as finworms are going to be sort of like eels. A lot of them are sort of going to be like eels and tadpoles and stuff. Just like things that can live in like through rocks, live through like really stagnant water. They're going to be fun still. They have big plans. Don't worry. I can't spoil those plans. I have spoiled enough for the finworm. Or no, that's not what it is. The zipper eyes. But we got a good few spoilers going on. This is a fun stream. Diego's doing engineering. Awesome. You really love it, but sometimes you think that you should stop and start doing biology. Now, there's nothing wrong with taking like a biology course if it's offered, because there's a lot of value in using biomechanics and stuff in engineering. I was in engineering for a hot minute before I didn't like doing it because it was evil and too hard. I'm stupid. I probably should have went into biology, but I just suffered through graphic design, and now AI has my jobs. Yippee. Now I'm a substitute teacher. I'm a fun substitute teacher, but still. I'm going to increase the width on this part. No, it's this part. Looking a bit too scrawny. This is supposed to be like a very, very big, hardy creature. Hardy? Yeah. Alright, let's... This is not particularly centered. So I'm going to move you... I'm going to move you too. Hopefully that didn't move its face. Yeah, it didn't. Awesome. Wait, let's double check. Nope, didn't. This looks like a shitty orca. 6'4" Crusader loves angloform. Yeah, close enough. Swimmers. Lampreys are so cool. I kind of hate lampreys. They just like tick up an evil part of my brain. I like how they have eyes that make them look like they look like sock puppets with their like realistic fish eyes. They just have realistic fish eyes, just on that face with like barely any other parts that are perceivable to my eyes as a face. Yeah, let's... Is this the base? That was the wrong part. Let's width. Awesome. We're beefing this up a lot, but it deserves to be. There, that's looking nice. I can still buff it out in the sculpting process if need be, but I need to just start making the rest of this. I am gonna make it in multiple parts. In fact, I should probably just make the shell separate. Or I could just not make the shell separate. I don't know. I'm just staring at my concept art at this point. You know what? Let's make... Let me see what this looks like. Let's make the shell after. That'll just be easier. Shrink. That looks funny. Yeah. Let's make the shell after. That'll be a lot better to work with. Hello, orbital cheese. Hello. Alright, so we are finally... Well, wait. I forgot the obvious thing. I need to add the other two fins. So the top one is like here. That is so low resolution. Oh, it's because it's not wide enough. Yeah. Okay. Angle that. That's not quite... Oh, God. I meant to grab. Like in the middle, right? Yeah. Let's angle that. Oops, let's make sure it's centered where it should be. Awesome. And now we can duplicate it. Rotate it more. And now we can move this one where it ought to be. These little separate fins emerged from like a singular fin that like goes all the way around it, like an eel type device, and it sort of separated these fins into different parts. Isn't that fun? Now this lower one is supposed to be longer in my design, so that wasn't particularly longer, unfortunately. Let me just move it down. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's looking very nice. Now we're gonna do a sneaky little thing, and to show that this is like bending to the water, we're gonna bend it like that. We're gonna bend it like that. Because the fish-like device is just swimming so hard. Just that one. Almost. What the heck? Oh, there we go. The fish-like device is just pumping its tail so hard that it's bending these little tiny fin things. It's bending them. Oh no. Oops, wrong way. Yeah. Now let me fix that. That way. Awesome. There. Now I'm also going to bend this one a little bit and bend this one a little bit because we are sculpting it to fit into the pose we are doing. We aren't doing it in like a T pose or anything. Sorry, it's fish. We're doing a fish, so I have to say any fin. That's right, we're here for the puns. Yeah. Yeah. And once again, this fluke isn't going to be this big. When it's done, it's just like this because... yeah. It's just like that because I'm going to sculpt it, and the sculpting that I'm going to use for that shape is subtractive. Okay, so now the only thing we need to add is the foot, which is no longer a foot, and is instead a fin now. So these come from ancestors which were like snail type devices, right? Snail type device. It has big fin. And so does this. What would the zipper eyes taste like? Well, they are very muscular. They have, I don't think I said this, they're going to have hemoglobin like we do. they're gonna be the only group with hemoglobin, I think. And they're just never gonna end up as efficient as we are just because they're gonna have shitty hearts, I think, forever. Of course, this is all up in the air. There's no confirming. There is no confirming. I hate minorities. Yeah. I forgot what the question was. What would they taste like? So there's red iron blood in there, so it might taste really bad. Like, apparently people only eat the fish that have, like, very low blood content in their muscles. Like, the more red a fish's muscles are, the worse it tastes, apparently. So they probably wouldn't taste very good. Alvazino Pete says, you think they taste like fish with a hint of marshmallows. That's... that's a fun idea. Ryan says caviar. That is possible. They have that giant gonad. You could probably crack it open like a lobster. Actually, maybe they would taste good. Linoof says hi. Hi. Oddvar says gasp with a picture of Opamania, it seems. Iconic Opamania posting. Am I basing the size and placement of the fins on hydrodynamics and how fins work, or is that just what looks cool? Not that much would change with such an early fit. Not that it would change. Yeah, I read things. So, that's an excellent question. I don't have the benefit of having like a simulator or anything, but generally it is based on hydrodynamics. The placement of these two fins less so. Like I said before, it originates from a singular fin that just goes like around the whole back half of its body. So these two, like this one, by the way, I should say, these fins can like tuck back and erect Yeah. They can also like go side to side, kind of like sharks can. This one mostly just stays still. I went on a whole like tirade about why the fluke is like this, which this part I researched a lot. But with these two fins, I couldn't find as much information about how the hydrodynamics work. But the way that I'm putting it in my brain is that this little one sort of like can help change direction, and so can this one. And they can also use them as brakes. Like if they tilt both of them to the side, it can be used as a brake. It can also be used to like gain more, um, grab more water. When it's doing these big swishes of its tail, if it holds them out, it can sort of like grab more. It can push with it. It can also use it to just like keep its body straight and just use these to like turn itself while it gently glides forward and stuff. But this is also just pretty much how a lot of fish are structured. But yeah, there in my original design there was another fin in the middle of it, but I don't think that makes sense. Now that I've done the anatomy and stuff, this is a very old drawing. Mr. Evil Larry is here. You don't recognize me, but you're Mothman09. Mothman09 sounds very familiar. You must have been in the streams a lot before. I remember making Mothman bits. Perhaps the small posterior dorsal fin of salmon. Perhaps lake. Let me go look at what a salmon looks like. I live in the desert. I don't know what fish look like. I'm gonna be honest, I'm most excited once I get to like land insect type devices, because that's one of my favorite things to think about. Salmon fish species. That's me trying to avoid AI images. Oh yeah. Fisk. Fish are really weird when you think about it. Like the way that they're like vertical, they swim side to side, and that's just so weird, and it creates these very odd shapes in their fins. It's interesting. Anyways, the these things have very odd fin arrangements because they sort of have a bunch of fins in the front. Like there's this foot fin, but then also I haven't added it yet, but there's gonna be like basically like that where it kind of looks like a biplane, which is why this one is down lower. Um, it's kind of like a biplane, so they can just like go really slow but still be moving forward, so that they don't have to constantly swim hard. And this is sort of like two arm branch things. I don't know what to call them. I gave them a name in the document. Okay, now we're getting the document out again. There it is. These things. This is sort of like another fin. They get hold out. Lateral appendage. Yes, it's the lateral appendage. Sort of uses as like a biplane. Yeah. That's fun. Oops, let me freaking there. What do we got going on now? Oh yeah, the earlier images showed how to prehensile phallus, which by the way, let me make sure I put that on. Whew. I almost forgot about the most important part. It's just funny. It is sort of leading to an interesting route that I can take this group, where the males functionally just have an extra limb that the females aren't gonna have, and that's gonna go in a fun direction. Yeah. Oops. I need to make it sideways first there. And where does it go? It goes like there. Yeah. Now let's angle it so it looks like it's connected and not just sitting there. That was too far. Wow. Wow, that's beautiful candy eggs. Why did you design it with a piantis? Also, I don't need this. Delete. Now let's create the bridge for the fin to go on. Yeah. Let's move that up. Then we can move the fin up to meet it. Awesome. It looks kind of like a jet ski. Let me tilt this also. Yeah. There's an edge bit. I don't really like being there, so let's move like... Can rotate it maybe. Yeah. Now it's way too big. Let's make it less that way. Yeah. Yeah. Ah, frick. That would make sense as to why it's bent that way. Okay. Yeah. Okay, now let's add one more. Let's rotate it that way. Make it less tall, but make it more wide. And then we can move it up. And we can get this really nice... really nice, like, gentle curve. That we can buff... That is a rectangle. How did I do that? Okay, let's make it less long. And bend it this way. Yeah, that looks nice. Yeah. Okay, and then the shell is going to go around this part. So now we are getting an idea of what this looks like. Oh, there's comments that I need to read. Orbital cheese. Jeez, Gromit. Oh gosh, there's a lot of things that I've been missing. High atmosphere pressure would increase maximum concentration of dissolved oxygen. It might help with the cardiovascular inefficiencies. Nudge, nudge, wonk, wonk, blink, blink. You got the idea there. Mr. Evilary, I had a story I was telling you. Oh, yeah. That makes sense why I remembered you. Desert pupfish exist for a reason. I love the desert pupfish. My Moirail used to have a lot of different kinds of desert pupfish, or like pupfish in general. Yeah, they look funny. They look like tiny carps. Which I guess is what people would expect a goldfish to look like, but those are baby goldfish. But you know what? It does look like a baby goldfish, so there. Rand says, will these have claspers like sharks do? That is an excellent question. My answer is no. You know why? Because they got the prehensile pintar. Oh, I am a mature individual. I am so mature. It's time for double orbital G's. Mr. Evilary, also, you've changed since last time you were here. However, I will not say what it is to avoid controversy. And no, it's not something horrible. That's good to hear. It's an opinion, but you don't want to cause controversy with it. Understandable. Wait, did you spell opinion wrong? Option. Oh my god. Every day, more evidence compounds that I may have dyslexia. Desert pupfish are an interesting case of fish adapting to extreme salinity, extreme high pH, low oxygen content. They're hardy fish for sure. I'm pretty sure it was the desert pupfish in a zoo one time. And they're just like below a walk. And it made me angry because there was a bunch of like coins and cigarettes in it. And I was like, you motherfuckers. Was it the desert pupfish or was it the Hell's something pupfish? It was one of the like critically endangered tiny little fishes. Whatever. I didn't actually see it, but there was a picture of them and I saw the water that they were in. Which was very, very fish coated. It does look like a strange plane. Elephants have prehensile phalluses. That's true. Water types forever says I love fish. Well, guess what? I say bug types forever. Bug type superiority. Bug, 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 bug. I love Ledian. I love Ledian. I love Orbeetle. Bug, 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 bug. I love bug type Pokemon. For instance, you added deal-driven artifacts. Deal-driven artifacts. Okay. Is that prehensile Pintar, or are you just happy to see me? It's your prehensile Pintar. I'm in the bedroom and I'm beating it, and by it I mean my victim. Actually, we've gotten pretty far in the fish. Before we start sculpting, I think it's time for a little break. I'm gonna take off my glove and get a big sippy. We are going to do something. Also, I don't know if you know this or not, but I'd recommend you use live chat and not. What the? I didn't know that was different. Why is it different? Why is it different? Okay, well, we have solved that. We have solved that. Also, don't know if you do this or not, but you'd recommend you use live chat. No, I just read that. I just read that with my eyes. I just clicked that. CMBXP, you said that you play Minecraft. Did you see the new Minecraft Live? I actually once again missed the Minecraft Live. I heard about it while playing with my new acquaintances in Path of Titans. What's my opinion on the dry gas? So, I will say the dry gas, or like the gas that you ride, the happy gas, whatever it is, it looks a little bit stupid how it has like those giant goggles. I understand from a game perspective that it's like you need to be able to see if someone is on it. And that is a good way to choreograph that. I would have done it in a different way, but it serves its function, and I'm really excited for it just because it's like a stupid thing, and like you can fly in it, and that's fun. Getting Elytra is hard, and I'm glad that there's like a different way to fly, and it's going to be really useful for building really dumb like things in the air, which I appreciate. I do hope that they're going to add commands for it, not like literal commands, but like you could tell it to stand still and shit, and I hope they do that with the other tameable mobs too, because that would just be more fun than putting them in a prison. Oh yeah, the gaslings do have gills. That was weird looking. Message retracted. Top Hat sometimes hides comments. Live chat allows all comments. Top Chat hides some comments. Why did it say message retract? Oh, you deleted it. I thought it meant redacted. Anyways, so before I start modeling the fish, I think we should all take a break and look at something really stupid. Hey, look, it's the video we're watching. No way. So this is my MSPFA. Now what this is basically a Homestuck fanfiction website. These are the two that I'm making. This one I've been working on a long time. This one is just really stupid. We're going to take a look at the stupid one. Now, I should definitely preface, even if you were watching this after the fact, that there's like a lot of blinky flashy lights. You know what? Maybe let's not look at the website. Oh, I kind of want to because it looks stupid. You know what? We're going to be looking at like blinky flashy lights for like the next 10 minutes. Probably not 10 minutes, for like the next 5 minutes. So go ahead and skip 5 minutes if you don't want to see blinky flashy lights. But we're about to see the stupidest thing in the world that I have ever created. It is called Weed Bro and Seller Jeff. It is a parody. It is a parody of Sweet Bro and Hella Jeff from Homestuck, which is basically, for anyone who doesn't know, the origin of modern, like, ironic nonsense humor. Okay? I basically made this website through their website. So we have the warming. Before you click anything else, please read. And then it's my character from the other comic whispering to me, telling me that it's going to have a lot of flashing lights. And we're going to look at the stupidest thing in the entire world. So here we go. Weed Bro and Seller Jeff. Check these moves, little broski. Vision. Wanna buy some weed, young sir? I would love to, fellow boy man, but I've only got credit card. Boyoyoyoyoyoing. Ka-ching! Check it, I just sold this bench's ass oregano from Olive Graydon. These will do nicely. So this is the stupidest thing I've ever created in my entire like history as an artist. And I love this so much. It is so bad. There's also, this is the main one that I've been working on. And you should all read Rombound. There's 118 pages. It's fun. It's fun. It's grand. It's fun. Anyways, so we're done. We're done looking at flashing lights now. We're done looking at the flashing lights. There's no more flashing lights. I was going to look through each of them individually, but I won't hold everyone captive for that long. We we looked at them. Water types forever. Do you think Bronzong the Pokemon is like a metal jellyfish with this hollow body? That's an interesting idea. That is an interesting idea. I would, in my opinion, I would consider Bronzong to be a mechanical Pokemon. I would consider it a robot, although a robot fueled by like psychic energy. So I would view it as like just a robot that exists in their worlds instead of a creature. But that's just me. Xeno Pete is curious if I am open to friend requests on Alderaan or Discord. Just curious, of course, this is a live chat and I don't need you leaking your private. I occasionally do play. Well, occasionally. I play it way too much. I play way too much Path of Titan. I would probably be open to friend requesting, just not really on Discord. I'm not that big of a fan of using Discord at all, but like the 3 people I met through Path of Titans I really like, so I'm just gonna keep that all private for now. But if I do play Path of Titan on a stream, I will let you know. That'd be cool to just make like a giant herd of Lambios or something. That'd be cute. Or better yet, the Campto army. Oh, the Campto swarm would be so funny. Where's James and the Creature? I don't know what James and the Creature is. That sounds like a reference. Orbital cheese needs to eat orbital fish. Jelly French fries. What are the hydrodynamics of that thing under the sky? That is an excellent question. This is what was once like a snail-like foot. It looks kind of silly right now, but there isn't a shell. There's a shell that goes around this front end that isn't rendered on yet. And there is also going to be a second set of fins that goes like right here. So it's kind of gonna be like a biplane. And the way that biplanes work is that this first wing sort of funnels air or water, slows it down, and makes it like more gently go over this one. And what that does, it gives it extra lift, and it makes it so that it doesn't stall even when going very slow. So this is a creature where it can like do a little bit of swimming and then just like stop moving and continue going forward for a long time. This is how things like Microraptor was hypothesized to work, which like if you're a glider gliding through trees, and if you are a biplane glider, that makes it very useful because it means you're not going to crash going 1,000,000 miles an hour going your fastest speed into a tree. But this is also how soaring birds' feathers work. The birds like hawks and vultures, where the primary feathers separate. It forms multiple wings like this, and that makes it so, again, they can fly really slow without stalling. And for a fish-type device, like I said before, that means that this thing can like swim with its tail for a bit and then just stop moving, and it'll still be going forward and not changing its level in the water. I know a lot more about flight mechanics than yeah. So once we get into the sky, that'll be very fun for me. Do I know what Prehistoric Kingdom is? Isn't that the Jurassic Park Zoo game? Have you seen that they're making a feather baby variant for Spinosaurus? That's an interesting concept. I kind of hate Spinosaurus. If I'm being honest, I kind of hate Spinosaurus. This definitely originates from me as a kid just liking Carcharodontosaurus more. But still. Oops, I didn't want to duplicate that. What the fuck? Yeah. This is about your story. There's a deal-driven artifact known as the Ebony Spikes. That's a good name. That's a good name. They use them and to use them, you must feel equal pain as the thing you're attacking, but you do not sustain their injuries. That's cool. I like that idea. I'm so sorry, Thaigo. Spinosaurus deserves my hatred. It deserves my loathing. Spinosaurus is evil. Tyrannid Titan, your beloved, based choice. uh, I don't like Carcharodontosaurids anymore. I used to really like them. This fin is not in the correct place. There. I used to really like Carcharodontosaurids, but now I like Tyrannosaurids. Because they look funny. They have really long legs. They look like ostriches. And I like that. But my favorite dinosaurs are the Adrosaurs and Oviraptorosaurs. I just like them. My favorite dinosaur is Corythosaurus. This was probably evident. But I also really like the Saurolophines, like Admontosaurus and Saurolophus. You know what? This is nice. This is nice. Okay, we are going to commit to the bit. We're going to convert it to mesh. Now what we're going to do is we are going to add a modifier to generate a remesh. But first I need to turn on and make it so I can see the mesh. That's a lot of polygons. So we're going to add our modifier and don't crash on me. generate a remesh. And this will make it so that it's better for sculpting. And now, because we need this to be really complex, we're gonna suffer. We're gonna make the computer suffer for us, okay? Let's go even smaller. Are we prepared to go even smaller? Is it going to explode if we go even smaller? Okay. It's still working now. If we peek inside, this is pretty good. This is a good amount. But if we look at the tail, how good are we? Because I need to put scales on the tail, and let's go to 15. Oh, 14. You know what? 14's the number. 14's the number. We're dealing with this. Now, here's a trick for everyone. Don't forget... Oh, wait. I need to smooth it. Don't forget to apply the transformation, lest your computer die. Oh my gosh, I have a bad case of the sillies today. Where was I? Oh, Spinosaurus, no, Tyrannid Titan. Speaking of Oviraptorosaurs, have I perchance tried the Gigantoraptor or Sittipati mods on Path of Titans? I haven't. I have seen the Sittipati. I forget how it's supposed to be pronounced. Sittipati. I've seen it. I really, really, really like what I saw. I just love them. I wish there was an Oviraptorosaur in Path of Titans. It would be so good. I don't really like using mods because a lot of them are like terribly balanced. But I like them in concept as like an art exercise and for people to learn how making characters for games works. It's really cool. Is the paddleboard thing flexible? It is. It just looks really stupid right now because I haven't sculpted it yet. But don't you worry. Ornithomemosaurs are your favorites. Penguins are your second favorite. That is cute. We love that. Ornithomemosaurs are interesting. Actually, I'm really quick going to go on a strange tangent right now. Because there's Ornithomemus. Feather impression. There's a weird art trend, and everybody knows how I hate paleo art trends regarding Ornithomemosaurs that I just like do not understand. Oh, we got the fossil came up immediately. Oh, it's blurry. It's blurry, but we're gonna cope. So this is an Ornithomemosaur. You can see its head up here, its leg, and its tail. We know a good deal about how at least this one in particular looks regarding feathers, which is really cool. And something important about it is that, like an emu, it has short feathers around its head, and then the feathers become really big, which that might be from the baby one. There's a baby one also in this fossil. There's the baby one. Now we're all gonna look at the baby because it's cute. Look at it. So it's got like shorter feathers near its head, and then they become longer as it goes to the base of its neck. So if you saw them in real life, it would look like a pear. Like it has tiny head, big body, and you can't really quite tell where the neck turns into the body, and that's adorable. And the baby also doesn't have feathers on its arms, like it doesn't have the big feathers that the adults do, but the adult has like wing type feathers, but they aren't structured. It's like in everything from Anchiornis to things like modern birds and things like Confuciusornis. I can't roll my R's, so we're all just going to cope with that. Those all have feathers, even Archaeopteryx. Archaeopteryx, yeah. All of those have like rows of feathers that are specific rows. Ornithomimesaurs don't. They just have like random feathers. So their wings wouldn't look anything like Maniraptors. It just kind of looks like they have weirdly long fur on their arms. And that's really interesting. But that is not the art trend. The art trend I'm talking about is if I type in Ornithomimus paleo art, what you'll see is that most people do this thing where they have like, why is the picture so small? Most people do this thing where like the tail, the feathers get longer as they go on. The feathers get longer as they go on. I think Saurian started this. The feathers get longer as they go on. Look, here's another one. The feathers, the size of the bird wings. The feathers get longer as they go on. There's very rarely you see ones like this where they don't do that. And what's interesting about it is that in the, I'm pretty sure this is the thing that went with this, the paper picture. Anyways, the tail feathers are short. Like it doesn't have this plume at the end that everybody just draws on it for some reason. And I think it's either because Saurian started it, or it's because people aren't really sure how these are related to Maniraptors, which they aren't Maniraptors. They aren't even Peniraptors. So they don't have bird type feathers. But I just think that's interesting. I like them. They look funny. Anyways, I couldn't keep that to myself because everyone has to know about that. Oh, I've missed a lot of text now. What's my favorite animal to play in Path of Titans? You haven't played in a while, but your favorite player, Sarah Ceratosaurus, sorry, and Pachycephalosaurus. Awesome, 2-star champion. My favorite to play is Lambeosaurus, because I like Lambeosaurians. But I also really like to play Thal. I have a bunch of clips of me and Lux killing Hats as Thal, because a lot of Hats players are really, 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 really terrible at the game. And it's funny. Andrew says, the computer's gonna get a seizure. It might. It might. I'm kind of scared to sculpt this now. Orbital Cheese has returned. I've got the modded community servers, Cryolophosaurus, interesting, and Quetzalcoatlus. But the official vanilla roster, Dean and Ramp and Spino Enjoyer, based options. Permission to consume Orbital Cheese's soul. I mean, if you can get Orbital Cheese's consent, like you go ahead. You go ahead. Actually, who wants to see a Path of Titans clip really quick? Who wants to see a Path of Titans clip really quick? That's too bad, because I'm going to show everyone anyways. We must bear witness to the Lambeo-maining. Path of Titans is a dinosaur game. Context. And where is it? Here it is. So we're all just gonna, for a moment, watch how hilarious this clip is. Now, I will say, we are technically mega packing, which we don't normally do. But on this day, we decided to be a herbivore gang. And we decided, let's just be like a big group of herbivores. And only attack anything when they attack us first. So that way people know what's... How do I make this not take up the whole screen? So there I am. There's my Lambiosaurus. And the rest of us are leaving Impact Crater. And then the baby is back here. And I already called earlier, like, something bad is going to happen to the baby. And the baby's lagging behind when we all started leaving. So now I'm like, oh gosh, there's hats rolling in. I know what hats do to babies every single time. So I turn back around. I'm just making sure the baby's following. And then the hat shows up and I'm like, I know exactly what it's going to do. It's going to grab the baby. Look how close it was to grabbing the baby. But I am a Lambio main, and the hats just never expect Lambio to be able to do anything. Hats are so predictable and easy most of the time. And if I didn't miss that shove, I could have kept it grounded and killed it. But oh my gosh, I hate hats so much. As someone who used to like exclusively play like Dean, and a bunch of other small things, hats are just mean. They always try and kill babies. They always are just rude. My hatred for hats is never ending. So this is all my Path of Titans clips that I need to organize. What else do we got? Oh, look, Minecraft. Oh, look, Fall Guys. I should delete those. Oh, look, the entirety of Season 1 of Prehistoric Planet. I was gonna edit more of those videos. I was going to. And then I didn't. It's like really shitty quality too. Maybe someday I'll go back to that. Oh my gosh, I'm just distracting myself because I don't want to work on this anymore. Let me read up on our comments. Thygo spaced out for a moment. Hats mentioned. Did we start talking about Path of Titans? We did start talking about Path of Titans. We did start talking about Path of Titans. Hats is lovely to play if you know how to land your hits. Usually run regular peck and delayed armor piercing peck. Now see, Alphazino Pete, you are the rare hats who actually knows how to play the game. And I appreciate that. Mr. Evil Larry says Thygo's name sounds familiar. Currently eating thermonuclear Cheetos. That is lovely. I hope they're like neon green. If they're not like turquoise, I will be disappointed. On semi-realism servers, your hats is primarily a critter hunter unless it's not fitting. Unless if you actually can't find anything else to eat. Know the struggle of baby life and growing. Oh, don't worry. If you're on semi-realism servers, that is a completely different story. I'm talking about being like a baby fresh spawn Lambio and then having like 4 hats start attacking me at the same time. Like official servers hit different when it comes to my hatred of hats, right? Okay, so I think I have to make myself go into the sculpt mode now. Let's save that. Okay, so I am first going to buff out. Deflate normally doesn't work. Let's flatten. Let's buff out this here at the bottom. Oh, look at that. Oh, God. There. See, this is a bug in Blender, and we are going to fix this bug really quick. See how this is not a circle? See how that's an oval? This is a very helpful hint for anyone who sculpts in Blender. I don't know why this is still an issue, but it's an oval because we need to apply... Oh, no, where is it? Hold on, wait. A. No, Shift A. No. Control A. Yes, Control A. We are going to apply all of our transformations. Now we're going to save it. And now when we go into sculpt mode again, it is a circle now. So we fixed it. I don't I don't know why that is an issue, but it is. So we are going to start out by flattening this. And this is going to be hard because normally I do it symmetrical. We're just gonna smooth until it becomes smooth. Normally I do this with the symmetrical stuff, but I don't have that option today because we are sculpting it in the pose we wanted it to have. That's nice. That's nice. I like that. The face we don't really have much to deal with, but let's start with the face. Let's add our symmetry mirror X. Oh yeah, I'm smart. I know what direction my thing is facing. So I'm going to lead with its mouth. And let me grab this. What does the mouth even look like? It looks like a weird spider. Oops. Yay. That is what a mouth looks like, apparently. So now we can get this. This is our subtraction one, the sharp subtraction. We're gonna get our real good approximation of a mouth with this one. And now we're also going to buff in the creases that we can unexaggerate later. Now it just looks like a fat tadpole, which is what, you know what, it's what we wanted. Let's add some wrinkly bits. Now the top doesn't really have much going on, except I am going to like crease in where the eyes go. These are just sort of like construction for me to design the shell around. Can add the shell around that area. It looks like the world's most terrible Dunkleosteus. Yeah. These ads are about to make you bust with rage, of course. Unfortunate. I thought I put them at the like lowest frequency. Oh, hold on. I am currently streaming to the internet, just so you know.
But would you like buttons?
Are they like buttons? What does that mean?
Buttons.
Oh, like actual buttons. Yes, I would like buttons. Thank you. Would you like to say something to the internet?
Hello?
Who says hello?
I'll put the ones over here that you would like.
Okay. Do you like my fish? Do you like my fish type device?
Yes.
Yippee!
Do you want the D&D one?
Sure.
PB?
Sure. I mean, I just like buttons.
That's freaking nerdy.
My sister is here, context.
Do you want Star Trek? Blink 182?
Sure. Ew, Star Trek, Star Wars, good.
Manage.
Sure. There's a lot of pins
Cat.
in there. Sure. There's a scrapped Pokemon that looks like that.
X-Men.
Sure. Now I can be Scott Pilgrim.
Deadpool.
Nah.
Lost Boys.
Nah.
Watchmen.
Nah. I can't be too much of a fake fan.
Goodbye.
Now I have a bunch of pins. Guys. A bunch of pins. That was my sister. Oh shit, we're talking about my comic now. If you remember correctly, the last you saw around Borgiania in Tandem's construct was an ominous spy. Wonder how the other large Ashtar kids would be personality-wise. That is an excellent question. Now, I have two little spoilers to show for that, because I don't want to work on this, but I'm, you know. Firstly, you can't see him in there. It's in the next picture. Oops. What is it, page 64? Scoot. That Aramborgia is not on this page. No, it was 63. The Aramborgiania, he shows up one more time here. And then he shows up one more time at, like, the end. But the chapter after this one does have another character who is a Quetzalcoatlus Lawsone. And the plot of that is that he's going to teach Suki how to fish. Because Suki was born in a sewer. These are strange things to say out of context. But that's what Suki's going to do in the next chapter. Yay. The next chapter is a lot shorter than the current one. Kind of looks like a Remora and a UAV had a baby. Yeah. It kind of does. And of course, it's up to an individual member of that species' behavior. That's true. I suppose it varies a lot depending on the local culture, but oh no, it moved. But there may be a dominant culture that determines how many of the Ashtar kids will act. Oh ho ho. There just so happens to be one. Like to think Cryo Dracon do witchcraft a lot. That's a cute idea. I don't think I have the drawing of the map of Tandem's construct here, but I'll give this little Tandem's construct thing. Everyone should read my comic Tandem's construct. There is a location for the like original spawn point of each of the elementals, like the original wind elemental is where a lot of the pterosaur culture is, and the original earth elemental is where a lot of the ceratopsians are. It's not necessarily like an exact one-to-one trend, like there's this elemental and these characters that go along with it, but there's a location for each of them, and the one that the pterosaurs are at just so happens to correlate with a lot of the little pterosaur culture in the comic, and that's fun. Thanatos Dracon as corpse bringers and mortuary consultants. Thanatos Dracon. I've never heard of that one. Without different Northropian Lawsoni are, you can see them having some real big and interesting cultural differences. Ooh. Inferno Dracon. There's so many Ashdarkids I've never heard of. Also, Thygo remembers that Quetzalcoatlus Fisher. There was concept art of that chapter that I did post. That's hilarious that you remembered it. Yeah, from the sketches. Oh, Orbital Cheese is going by. Orbital Cheese. Gosh, I hope Orbital Cheese comes back in like 2 minutes and says Orbital Cheese is returned. That would just be funny. It's Steven. I love Steven Universe. And that's right, I did just bring up Steven Universe because I just went, it's funny. That looks inappropriate on top of its head now. I don't like that. I'm gonna undo that. I get accused of drawing things inappropriate too much for this alien project to begin with. Daigo does have a Cryodracon. Mage character planned. Ooh! When vacations start? I'm actually at the tail end of my vacation right now. The spring break at the schools that I work at. Lost the notebook? No! That is unfortunate. I've never actually lost a sketchbook. I've lost like 1 million rulers, but that's about it for me. Let me get this nice big cut so that I can... Yeah, hopefully that's not too thin right there. Okay, good. Now, with this, I should be able to, that's too rough. Let me get this one. I should be able to draw on the siphon pretty well now. Let me grab my stretchy one. The elastic deform is one of my favorites. And this will create the butt. The butt. Let's make it tall. Oh god, that's not the part that I wanted. Okay, I see the issue now. There. Yeah. Okay. Let's drag it up. Drag it up. We're in the very loose stages right now, so nothing too consequential is going on. Let me grab the sharp one again so I can draw on the hole and then imply that it goes somewhere when I color it. And there's the butty hole. I know we are all excited to have that. Candy eggs, why do they all have butts on the top of them? I don't know. Don't look at me. Well, I mean, the real reason for this is that, like, this is the butty will be at the tail, and it sort of has, like, an extra end of its tail, but... Inferno Dracon is rather recently described Nipponopterus, Japan. Thanatos Dracon. It's the earliest, oldest Ashdarkid so far. That's interesting. Huh. I really liked Ashdarkids back before they became, like, super popular. Like, when we were first getting an idea of what Quetzalcoatlus looked like. Not to make myself sound old, but that is how old I am. I was always really into, well, I wasn't always into pterosaurs. I was originally into ceratopsids, and then I slowly just fell into pterosaurs and oviraptorosaurs and, adrosaurs. Inferno Dracon was the... Oh! Inferno Dracon is from Hell Creek. That's interesting. Andrew says, what do I think of Steven Universe the movie? I fucking love Steven Universe the movie. Spinel made me cry before I went on estrogen. That's impressive. Oh, poor Spinel. I love that movie so much. I love all the music. I love everything about it. I love Steven Universe, the musical. I mean, the movie, whatever it is. I like how it's like theater. I will say that when I watched it for the first time, I was disappointed that the characters got, like... Spoilers for Steven Universe movie. I was disappointed that the characters got, like, their memories wiped or whatever. Because I just wanted to see the characters I like, you know? But I've gotten over it, and I just really love that movie now. The Inferno Dragon from Hell. Let me say it like me and Pedro do. The Inferno Dragon from Hell. That's the voice that me and Pedro, definitely not Pedro. That's the voice we use to make fun of David Peters. If I use my computer screen as a microscope. Good times. Everyone should look at definitely not Pedro's paleo art. He's really good. He draws a lot more paleo art than I do, especially nowadays. Alvazino Pete loves your Ashdarkids. Understandable. That got honestly a Tandems Construct tabletop RPG. Context clues. Would be fun. Oh, that'd be cute. Party of plucky dinosaurs, goes to a dungeon. They die from the rocks falling. Actually, you know what? Oh, fuck. It's invisible. What did I do? There. It's back. Nothing bad happens. Nothing bad happens. Would we all like to see... Fuck, I just did it again. Okay, there. Would we all like to see the dub so far of Tantum's Construct? I have barely started it, because as I was going off in the beginning of the stream, I was trying to make music for it, and I just don't understand music, and it was very sad, but that's what I've been focusing on the last couple days. Oh, Chickadee's here as well. Hi. We're working on a fish. This thing looks grotesque. It looks like an acorn. Anyways. real quick, we're taking a quick little break again to look at something. What is it called? It's called Debinky Resolve. Now we are gonna look at this real quick because I've been working on a dub for my comic, and there's no music, there's no sound effects. It is only one scene. I don't have all the voice lines for all the characters yet because I have specific people I really wanted to do. I really wanted to do it, and obviously I'm not giving them money because they're my friends. It takes a minute because you have to teach people how to do it, but it's been really fun. It's been great. Hopefully my computer doesn't explode. Oh my god, it's so small on my art tablet. Why be big? Okay, I think why did it get bigger when I made it smaller? Oops, don't do that. Okay. This is my comic dub so far, and I'm gonna slowly make my way over to the beginning, and we're gonna watch it. Actually, before then, let me hold on. There we go. I almost forgot to put the audio back. All right, let's let it roll. Also, what do I think of Steven Universe Future? It is a fantastic representation of like accurately portraying what depression is like. I love Steven Universe Future. It's kind of boring though. Whoa, it's completely silent.
Oops.
Why is it so quiet? Okay, now we need to... Is it because my computer is quiet? It was. Okay. So that sounded... Oh, fuck. That sounded strange. But here we are. Alright, we're going again.
Oops. My cornbread floated away. I always forget it does that. Hey! It's being stolen! Wait, Velociraptor only steals my cornbread when I'm dreaming. That's one of the tells Chasma told me about. I'm lucid! I know you're not real!
So it sounds a little silly without sound effects, but we're all just gonna cope with that.
I kinda want my cornbread back, though. Actually, I want cake. Actually, I want Chasma to be here. Oh, that didn't work at all.
3D reference, 3D reference, like what we're doing right now. And we're just gonna imagine the sound effects, right? We're imagining them.
I'm sure the real Chasma wouldn't mind if I hopped into her dream for the night.
I was originally doing Penta, but I had my friend Scott do it for me because I just didn't like my version of it. So he sort of did it last minute and did a great job.
Neat. Ceratopsia.
I sense a disturbance.
Gina!
Wait.
It's almost as if...
Okay, so for context, Gina, my friend Jean, they did Kazma's voice, which part of the joke is that they all pronounce dinosaur names differently because it's funny. But they voiced Chasma way back when I made that silly little animation, and it's just so fun to have them still be doing it. It's great. They did an amazing job, especially as it goes on, because I like recorded everything in chronological order just to make it easier. They end up doing a really great job, especially when Chasma gets mad later. Is so funny.
My favorite person's nearby. Penta, are you okay?
I was on the ceiling, but I'll be okay. There's a cute girl here. Also because this is a dream and I have dream bones.
You're silly. Which reality test got you lucid dreaming?
It was indeed the Velociraptor.
That's such a strangely common dream for you.
I'm starting to think it's a repressed memory.
Yeah, I wouldn't know anything about that.
It's really cool to see what Ceratopsia looked like before we accidentally broke the rest of it.
That was Murgo's fault?
Hey, do you want to cuddle? That way we're cuddling in real life and also in our dreams. It's like a double cuddle.
Penta's anti-Riz is such
I
a...
like our relationship.
It's like not even a funny joke, but I just keep doing it because I think it's funny. Like, Penta has, like, negative Riz. Oh my goodness. Oh, and then Suki shows up. We love
Well, if
Suki.
it isn't my favorite hetero couple.
Oh, hell yeah, this is my friend
Suki,
Beck.
have you been lurking in my dreamscape?
Hi, Suki.
I've been known to lurk, yes.
Why is she so
Often?
saucy
It
about
started
that?
as a hobby.
How much have you seen?
I keep a journal.
You take notes?
Are you proud of me?
Morally, no. But frankly, I haven't seen you put this much sustained effort into anything. Ever.
I'm piecing together the lore.
Instead of just asking.
You're hiding some interesting things in here. The cinnamon roll, though, he's empty. Except the Velociraptor was real.
Wait. Why'd you show yourself?
Oh, yeah. We've been summoned to the collective.
Really? What does it say?
Path.
Team Corn Cubs,
I'm so glad we named it that.
please meet at the collective. Right now. For the important meeting, love Tay. P.S. Bring plastic cups.
Done.
What?
Yeah, I don't know what the cups are for. Come on, Team Corn Cobs, let's go! You can't tell me what to do, Tay.
I've been practicing lucid dreaming.
You did a good job conjuring cups.
Is it already starting?
And then, wow, that's all I did so far. Whoa. Now that we've all suffered through my friends doing the first voice acting work they've ever done, I was pretty good, considering. Like, I really am proud of what everybody did. I'm so excited to get it finished. It did make me realize that a lot of the writing is rather stilted in that first chapter, but you know what? We cope. Oh, shit. Okay, it didn't explode. We're fine. It closed the program. We are fine. Orbital cheese did return. They're here to pick up the orbital fish. I knew it. I knew you would be back. That was great. Alpazino Pete, thank you very much. It's kind of cheesy and kind of terrible, but like the homemade nature of it, I think, is like a little charming. Very epic. Suki's voice jump scared me in a good way. That is hilarious. I was debating who I wanted to be Suki for a long time, just because she's such a strange, like, ironic and sarcastic and just really silly character. But I think I made a good choice in the end. I love my friend Beck. Awkwardly stares. Oh, the fish. Oh, the fish. It needs progress. It needs progress. Let's go. Let's keep doing the symmetric part with the fin. Let's make it look like it has, like, snail muscles in the foot. Oh, wait, no. This is supposed to be smooth. This is supposed to be smooth because it's like an advanced version. Yeah. We can get these subtle lines in the back. That's nice. That's nice. Now let's get the grabby one out again so we can, like, really get the form we're looking for before continuing. Like, this needs to be drawn back. That needs to be drawn forward. Actually, no, let's draw it. Draw it back. Let's bring the front forward. Let's bring this back. We'll get, like, a nice sweep. Get a nice sweep to the shape. Yeah. Got kind of a triangular look. Not too triangular, because that would make it so it has a lot of drag. but also not too rounded. Because then that's... Because if the fin is too rounded, then it's sort of like an orca where it is very maneuverable. But I want this to look less maneuverable and just make it look like these are the fins that it really uses to glide. It just kind of looks like a parasail. Okay, so this needs to indent. That's too much. This needs to indent so we can get that nice shape. Awesome. Now I can drag the front up a bit. Because this like keeled part is where it rests. Because if this rests on the seafloor, it is resting on this keel. This one in particular is much more of an open water creature, but their relatives do use this to sit on the ground. It also like sucks up into it. Like this wrinkly bit can like go wham. So it doesn't need to be this low down. Orbital cheese ate your orbital fish? No! You filthy monster! 6'4" Crusader, is the body of these guys still horseshoe shaped or is it closed? That is an excellent question. So this part, the shell isn't on here yet. Like this is just kind of like the structure around it. The shell is kind of gonna look like this, except not terrible. If we imagine that this isn't really bad, that's what the shell is gonna look like. And it's kind of gonna cover it and sweep back and stuff. But all the organs are in this front area. Like this area and the base of its tail. The entirety of its tail is just muscle. Yeah. So like all the important bits are in this front. Oh, actually, let me do this real quick. I think the whole frontity bit needs to be longer. Just because as a larger thing, it needs to have more space for its gills. That kind of destroyed its mouth. Let's try that again. We might just have to resculpt the mouth. Because the larger creatures get, the more space in their gills there has to be. That's why, like, a lot of the really big sharks have such long bodies. Part of that is because the front half is a lot long. Now it just looks like a hot dog. What the hell? Alright, we're just gonna have to... How to go about this? If I grab it like this, what happens? Oh gosh. Go back. If I grab it like this, I should have made this longer to begin with, but we will see how this turns out. What does it look like? That's pretty alright, actually. That is pretty alright. Now, if I look at it from the underside and sort of grab that, sort of grab this, we can sort of direct that forward again. Oh, yes! This is beautiful! I'm a dumbass. So, I think that's good, because this part is supposed to be the furthest front ways. So I think that's good. We're just going to have to redefine the mouth again. Why is that not redefining? Hold on. Is this working? Or is... Oh my god. Okay. Let's get back in there. There we go. Oh gosh, that scraped it up real good. Now let's grab... Actually, let's keep with this one a little bit. Define that. Let's smooth it out because it's starting to crinkle a lot. Oh god, that just deleted the mouth. You know what? That's fine because we can just redo it. Yeah. Actually, it's a bit too much on the sides. Let me focus more on this, so it's like a real Y shape. Yeah. Yeah. So now we can grab this, go additive with it, and sort of add more of the lippy bit back. There, this is looking awesome. So we have the little smoochy mouth back. Yippee. Okay, now that I've focused so hard on that, I need to check the chats again. Oh, how would this type of fish taste? Probably pretty bad. The inside might taste a bit like a lobster or something. It looks naughty. Oh my god. Why does it always look wrong when I draw things that are aliens? It does, though. It does. You know what? Let me make it look more like a spider real quick. That's always a good sign to say. Let me make it look more like a spider by, like, flaring it. Flaring it like that. That just looks like a heart now. I like that. I like that. Let's grab the cut one. Cut it in. Then we can grab the elastic deform again and sort of close it. Yeah. Oh, that's cute. It's like a little heart. And then watch me paint it red just to make it look funny. That might make it look more sus, actually. Fish redacted. This fish orbital even. Post orbital even rather. All right, so I need to finish making this. That is terrible. Wait, no, if I grab that, then it just grabs a tiny piece. So let me... Nope, that grabbed the wrong part. There, that is what I wanted. And now I can smooth that so it's not all crinkled over itself. There. There we go. So now we can continue with this. Add that little cleft. Then we can also add, like... I want to keep it being, like, pretty smooth on the underside. But I definitely want to imply, like, it bends here most often. And then some, like, structural lines. We can smooth the edges. Very nice. That is one fishy MF. So let me smooth that out a little bit. Then I'll grab this, add some little creases so it looks more like a fleshy snail type thing. And that is looking pretty nice. Now I'm going to add some detail hooking under here. So it looks like there's some, like, big muscles that aren't particularly active right now for dragging it up. So it's like these are relaxed. The muscle that would be, like, here inside. So it's like, oh, when it contracts, it'll go whoop. That was an important noise, by the way. Just draw that on, get the minus there. And this concavity will just make it easier to, like, put the shell around it, right? This is looking nice. Actually, let me do it less terrible. Let's undo the mirror. Make it look a little less terrible. Just add some little wrinklies. And see, now it's going to take twice as long because we're not mirrored anymore. But it's going to help it not look too consistent. Alright, that's a good amount of wrinkles. We want the rest to look like pretty rubbery and smooth. So I'm just going to indent some of the existing pieces a little bit. It's the same principle as drawing, except instead of a drawing, it is a 3D model. And this is pretty much good. I'm gonna grab this one more time and like tuck in. Oh wait, let me put the symmetry back on real quick. I'm gonna tuck in here. Just get this more dynamic shape. That is looking very nice. That is looking nice. I'm gonna drag this inward as well to try and get this like sharpened nose cone type thing. That's nice. Yeah. Yeah. Now it's time for the hard part. Oh god. The hard part is that I kind of want to bend this fin so it looks like it's swimming with it. And this is something I should have done to begin with, but it is not something I have done to begin with. So we are going to struggle with it a bit. Whee! Push that up, punch. Punch, punch, punch. Make it look like it's grabbing the water. There. That's... it was too punched in. There. Let's add like a singular punch. Pshoom, pshoom. Alright, yeah, that looks like it's swimming with it. Awesome. Oh yeah, I'm streaming. How big is this fish? You need to figure out what size orbital refrigerator you need. That's an excellent question. I have not completely decided. It's like the apex fish of Lapos at the end of the next episode. So if I were to guess, is probably like 10 feet long. American size. Maybe bigger than that. Like, it's pretty long. But yeah, nothing too impressive. I think that a lot of alien projects sort of go off like, this thing is this big and this thing is this big, but most things just aren't that big. And I feel like it's more realistic to be like, yeah, it's pretty big. It's like 10 feet long. That's like the size of a pretty big fish, you know? Like, dang. Alright, this is looking pretty cool. I am gonna try again to carve in the face cleft. Like the zipper where the breathy bit is. But I really don't want it to look weird. That's a lot better than last time. Yeah. Let me connect it up. And we can grab this and sort of close it a little bit. Yeah. That's nice. That's nice. Now let's smooth it a little bit. By the way, everyone, Blender is free. You can do this too. This is all free. It's going to continue to look kind of scary without any eyes. Or does it look more scary with eyes? I don't know. Diego says, "Where am I from? Am I from the United Kingdom?" That's a hilarious guess. Probably from the way that I say photosynthesis. I will not forgive myself for not redoing that line in the first episode. I am from the United States of America, sadly. Frowns. My rights. Bye-bye, my rights. Bye-bye. Got a letter from the government that said that I filled out my stuff wrong. Oh no. No, I'm just trans. I'm just trans. And I did what was legal when I turned in the paperwork. But the new president said no. Anyways. I think it is time to work on the spikes. So, there's 2 spikes. They're underneath here. Actually, let's carve out the pinar first. The pinar has gotten some weird scaling from me boosting the HD nature of this model. So, there we go. Now let's sketch this. Wow. Pinar. I'm not going to put too much detail into this part, though. Oh, boy. That's nice. That's a nice pinar. I hope we all appreciate the pinar. Does that look too knobbly? Yeah, that looks too knobbly. Orbital Cheese gonna step away for a while. You need to practice water parrying. Okay, have fun. Have fun, Orbital Cheese. Farewell on your journey. What time is it? Whoa, Candy Eggs reveals where they are. It's 2:45. Okay. Oh boy. At least I'm making myself work on this. I've been putting this off just because I kind of want this one to be in the thumbnail. Right? Kind of want this fish to be in the thumbnail, and if the fish is in the thumbnail, then it's got to look nice. Like, this angle is what I'm feeling. Maybe something downturned, or I don't know. This angle seems good. You get all the details, like all the anatomical parts. Yeah. I'm liking it. The underneath looks really cool. I like the rubbery look it's got. It looks kind of like a whale. Expanding flan. I certainly chose the time to start watching. Yeah, you get the Pintar view. You get the Pintar HD. HD Pintar. I apologize for everyone having to bear witness. Let's add some wrinkly bits. Pshoo, pshoo, pshoo. And then we can start drawing on the scales, which the scales are gonna take a long time, but we are gonna cope with them. We're gonna cope with their existence and their having to be rendered. Actually, we should do the fins first. Yeah, we should do the fins first. So, I'm gonna pull on the fins, get them more into the shape that I wanted initially. Oh god, that looks really bad. Yeah, that's good. This fin... Let's get more of this going on. I have my sketch next to me, for those wondering. This is too curved. I need it to be more straight. Whoa, candy eggs turn straight and away. I am being a little bit ridiculous today. This is a strange looking thing. This is very strange. Okay, so we are going to attempt to make the tail look how we want it. Now, in order to do this, I'm basically going to be decimating the structure we have. Because it's so thin, I can use the smooth tool to just, like, shrink it, basically. Let's make sure it's good on the other side. Awesome. Now what we can do is we can shrink it big ways. Now, when we shrink it big ways, we will run into a little issue called that. Oh gosh. You know what? Let's compress it again. Let's compress it with the grabby. Or wait, what happens if I flatten? Nope, not what I wanted. Alright, so we're on a baby hunt. Don't think we don't know how to weed him out. Yeah, this is the best tool. This is the best tool. I normally do them symmetrically, so I'm struggling a little bit to get this workflow, but we're making it happen. And now we're starting to see, like, the intended fluke shape and everything. This very lunate thing. We're on a baby hunt and don't think we don't know how to weed him out. SpongeBob. Whoa. All right, this is looking pretty good, I think. It's working out how I hoped. Let's get these lobes to look more like lobes. Yeah. Let's make this one buffed out this way. Wee. Okay. Wow. And now we need to flatten the heck out of this. I'm going to flatten this out. And see how it's still shrinking. That's why we made it so big. This would have been a lot easier to do symmetrically, but we are dealing. Let me see. It's way too... No, that's good, actually. That's good. I like that. We just need it to flatten out. So we're going to see what happens if we do deflate. It's kind of deflating everywhere, not just the thinness, which, you know, that is what that would do. Oh gosh, that is what I wanted to avoid. Now let's get our smooth tool back and hope that I can fix that collapsing polygon. Awesome. Yeah, this is turning out pretty well, all things considered. Wow. I am starting to get pretty antsy, as is probably, like, very clearly evident, and has been this entire time. I don't remember when I started, but I have been streaming for a long time. Let me see if I can just, like, collapse it with the deforms. Yeah, this seems to be working. You were flattening it out. That's a little wonky, but we need to fix this edge of the fin anyways. Yeah. Let me rotate around. That's looking pretty nice. I just need to smooth the heck out of the underside. It's bent a little oddly now. And then once we get the shape good, we are ready for the detail on the fluke. Of which I think we're nearly ready for that detail. We just need to zoom in. Oops, we just need to zoom in here. Make sure that the end is more sharp. Yeah. Now let's smooth that out again. You know what's probably a better tool? The whatever, slide relax. Slide relax was probably the best one to be doing. Yeah, look at that. Yeah. This side is a little crunkled, but we will fix that at some point. Now let's slide relax this part of the fin. That felt like it scrunched it in the wrong way. No, it didn't. Okay, well. Now this end is not looking quite sharp enough, so we are gonna do that. Awesome. Smooth it. Fan flipping-tastic. Smooth, 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 smooth. I'm just like scratching away at the edge. Now this part is a little too thin, so I'm gonna try and inflate it a bit. Hopefully that didn't fuck it up too much. Awesome. Now we're gonna smooth it again. Because you see what I'm doing is I am avoiding the geometry from clipping into itself, which would be very bad in a word. But looks like the tail fin is ready for detailing. So let's go ahead and get on in there. First, I need this to look separated. I'm gonna flip over to the other side. Separate the toppy bit and the lower bit. And then we have the little struts inside. First of all, let me draw on where the bones go. That side was too far in, so let me refix that. Draw the bones now. Or, well, it doesn't have bones, but you know. Bones for the boneless. Awesome. Let's hit the save. Now, that was too far. No, actually, the first one should be like the 1, 2, 3. There's like these little hard parts inside. 1. Actually, that's too far. 2, 3, 4. Okay. Yeah, so there's one in the front. Big one. 3 in the bottom. Oops. What? Oops, that wasn't sharp enough. 1, 2, 3. 1 short one. 1 long one. 1 below. 1 below. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The side is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yippee! That is close enough to a reflection. how long have we been going on? 2 hours and 40 minutes. Okay. That's pretty good. Oh, wait, where'd my chat go? There it is. There it is. So, ooh, I think I'm just gonna finish up this fluke and then be done. I think that is a good route to go down. We've seen... Well, not like finish up the fluke, but like finish up these scaled parts. The structural parts. And then I think that's been pretty fruitful for today. We got a pretty good look at what the fish of Lapis are going to look like. That's always fun. It's looking pretty cool. I'm glad I decided to do a 3D model for this one. Instead of what I was going to do. Which was I was just going to paint it. Then we need the structural one, the long one, the buffer one, the buffer one. Structural, long, buffer, and buffer. Well, alrighty. I think that's all that we are gonna get to today, friends. I need to go run around or something. So thank you very much for participating or just simply viewing another Candy Egg stream. The next Aliens episode is well on its way. It will still not be done for a hot minute, but we're getting pretty far, and this episode has by far and above like the most scope creep I have ever had for one of these YouTube projects. And unfortunately, I'm sure it'll keep doing that, so we will be back at it again sometime. I don't know if I will show any more progress on this 3D model in particular, but when the episode comes out and you see this one, you'll be like, I was there for that. Yeah, just giving us some good shots for everybody who's been looking. Yippee! So this has been the Candied Egg. Give a nice little smooch. Give a nice little smooch. Give a nice little smooch for that. Give it a nice little smooch. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much for being here, and for everyone working on their own art projects. You go. You're awesome. Everyone in general here, you're awesome, except that one guy who was begging me to draw fetish cartoons. That was fun. If you weren't there for that, check that out. Otherwise, see you around, friends. This has been Candy Eggs. Bye.